Let's take a look at an exam question where you can get an easy 5 marks. This question is all about Punnett squares. What we need to do in this question is use a genetic diagram to determine the probability that these two parents have a boy with the disease. We are told that a recessive allele causes disease H. A heterozygous woman and a homozygous recessive man want to have a child. So as soon as I read this question, I'm going to write down my genotypes on the question. So heterozygous woman, that means she's going to have a dominant and a recessive. A homozygous recessive man, that man is going to have 2 recessive alleles. Then we need to use a genetic diagram to determine the probability they have a boy, I'll come to that later, with the disease. This is worth 5 marks. Now, if you were to just write down the probability at the end of the question, you'd only get 1 mark. What you're going to get tested for and what your examiner is looking for is, do you go through these 5 steps? So our first mark is going to come available because we write down our parent genotypes. So I'm going to write down the woman and the man, and the woman's genotype is heterozygous, the man's genotype is homozygous recessive. My second mark comes from writing out my gametes. So the woman is either going to produce gametes with a dominant allele or gametes with a recessive allele. The man will only produce gametes with the recessive allele. Then I complete my Punnett square. So you will then get another mark just for completing your Punnett square. Your next mark comes from writing down your possible offspring phenotypes. So the ones that have the disease are these ones here because they have 2 of the recessive alleles. So I would write down that the homozygous recessive genotypes have the disease and that the probability of this is 50%. But I've not finished. I've only got 4 marks so far. The 5th and final mark comes from recognising this little part here, the probability that they are a boy with the disease. So the probability that the offspring is a boy is 50%. It's 50-50, boy or girl. So what I then need to do is multiply my 50% by a half again, and we get our final probability is equal to 25%. Would you have got 5 marks in this question? Follow for more tips and tricks on how to break down your exam questions so that you do get full marks.